It's Thursday, December 4, 21 days to the big one, and you're watching Jamaica Magazine. I'm Kerry. On the pages today, getting young people involved in local government. The Clarendon Parish Council scored big in November. Responding to the call of duty at Christmas, essential service workers tell their stories. And a little caroling to get you in the festive mood. We put together today's show with you in mind, so stay with us.
This is one time we don't want you to laugh.
Staying safe on the road is a serious thing.
Mr. Taxi driver and bus driver, take time, man. People, so one-stop driver and come off.
Cyclists, motorcyclists, pedestrian, all road users using the head.
Only if you use cell phone and drive. No, man.
Idiot thing that.
Road safety is no laughing matter.
Because we want you to be around
and laughing with us for a long time.
A message from the National Road Safety Council and National Health Fund.
Good day, I'm Stacey Ann Smith, and this is your GIS News for Thursday, December 4. More than 5,000 residents in central Westmoreland are now receiving regular water supply after the recent commissioning of the Barneyside tank. The tank, which can store 150,000 gallons of water, was refurbished at a cost of $4.3 million. It's serving the communities of Barneyside, Cornwall Mountain, Mount Stewart, Cold Spring, Castle Mountain, New Mills, Lambs River, Belvedere, Struy and Macfield. The distribution pipeline was also repaired to enable the piping of water to Betheltown residents. Water Minister Robert Pickersgill explained that due to the additional demand on the system, the water supply would have to be scheduled.
But some water is better than no water at all. And the work we have done on the tank and on the pipeline means that you will receive more than just a trickle from your pipes, or have to rely on water being trucked to you.
He, however, assured the residents that further works would be done in the area to increase the volume of water provided. Over 150 local healthcare workers are now being trained by 2 Cuban experts as part of Ebola preparedness, response and management activities. The 2 Cubans, who are experts in the field of microbiology and epidemiology, are in the island as part of an agreement reached during a mission to Cuba in October led by Minister of Health Dr. Fenton Ferguson. They are conducting sessions on epidemiology, patient management, safety, infection control, use of personal protective equipment, risks associated with Ebola and isolation. The training began on Monday and will continue over the next 3 weeks. Participants include doctors and nurses from the public and private health sectors, as well as representatives from the University Hospital of the West Indies and the UTEC School of Public Health. These persons, along with 30 Cuban workers who arrived in the island in November, will be part of the team of health staff preparing for any possibility of Ebola reaching Jamaica. Some 33 additional LED street lights installed along the Palisadoes Main Road in Kingston have been reaping significant savings for the government. The energy-efficient lights have resulted in about a 35% reduction in energy costs.
This journey to conserve and to become more efficient users of energy is one that the entire country is on.
The lights were officially commissioned into service on Tuesday. Their installation represents the 3rd phase of the Palisadoes Rockford Streetlight project being implemented jointly by the Energy Ministry, Caribbean Maritime Institute and the Jamaica Public Service Company. Jamaica is now closer to introducing the timeshare system of vacation accommodation to the island's tourism product after the Senate's passage of the Timeshare Vacations Bill on Friday. It was previously passed in the House of Representatives.
This bill, Mr. President, is important enabling legislation that seeks to allow Jamaica to access both local and international investment in a sector of the resort industry that has become well established in many major tourism markets around the world.
Timeshare or vacation ownership involves shared ownership of vacation real estate where purchasers rotate their use of the property. The Transport Authority, in partnership with the Jamaica Constabulary Force, has rolled out a special island-wide enforcement operation. It's aimed at reducing illegal activities and indiscipline on the roads and will encourage operators of public passenger vehicles to comply with road rules.
We want the commuting public and our operators out there to understand that we are serious and we are enforcing and strengthening our compliance drive and our enforcement activities.
The authority is urging commuters to make their safety a priority and to only travel in legitimate vehicles. And finally, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security is assuring workers that they have no reason to fear discrimination under the Flexible Work Arrangement Law. Acting Director of the Legal Services Unit at the Ministry, Camille Bennett Campbell, says the Act can only be implemented at a business place after negotiations between an employer and the workers.
People have to understand that they have this right. They cannot change their contract without agreement, and that there's recourse. You can come to the Ministry of Labour and we can assist you.
In October, the Senate passed the Flexible Work Arrangements Miscellaneous Provisions Act with several labour laws amended to allow for the implementation of the legislation. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stacey Ann Smith. Thank you for watching.
There is no vaccine for the chikungunya virus. If you've been infected, take paracetamol such as Panadol, Cetamol, and Tylenol to reduce pain and fever. Sleep under mosquito netting and get plenty of rest. Take showers or sponge baths in room temperature water to lower fever, especially in children, and drink lots of fluids to prevent dehydration. If your symptoms worsen, go and see a doctor. Do not take aspirin as this could cause bleeding, and never use rubbing alcohol. To learn more, call 1-888-1-LOVE. That's 1-888-663-5683.
It is the festive season and we all want to enjoy ourselves. So if you drink, don't drive. And if you drive, please drive within the speed limit and obey all the road codes. If you have an hypertensive patient or a diabetic patient, stick with your diet. As I said, do everything in moderation, don't overindulge. And if we all do that, we will have an enjoyable holiday.
Christmas is a-coming and the goose is getting fat. I'm so excited about the holidays, but more on that a little bit later. Right now, though, I'm going to share something else that's pretty exciting. Young people expressing themselves well and getting involved in community life. The Clarendon Parish Council engaged students from high schools in the parish last month, and yours truly was right there in the thick of things. Watch this feature and all will be revealed. In the month when local authorities celebrate their work and worth in communities and the nation pauses to pay homage to the value and dynamism of young people, the Clarendon Parish Council CPC devised an activity to do both in one go.
We wanted to do some activities that target our growing demographic, our most influential demographic. And we recognize that the youth 25 and under are the chief communication influencers in our community. And so we thought, it's Youth Month, it's Local Government Month, this is our target population, why not devise some other activities that involve them and involve them in a constructive way.
So the CPC staged this inaugural All Clarendon High School debate competition, and it was a huge success. The CPC invited all 22 high schools within its division to share their views of the council's role in the parish in an essay competition. The top 4 schools would be invited to vie for the top spot, that of debating champion. The essay writers and debating teams from Knox College High, Glenmuir High, Central High, and Clarendon College emerged as the strongest, and so each earned a place in a series of debates which threw up moods challenging the position of Maypen as the parish's true centre and questioning the value of open spaces in city centres. Glenmuir High School fought hard, but placed third. Central High School and Clarendon College took center stage. The battle of words was serious and robust, but very friendly, as the teenagers from the hills sparred with those from the city, whilst the organizers gleaned a whole new perspective on the issues posed to them.
This house believes that green spaces in urban places is a waste of space. Audience, my teammates and I strongly believe that all those who are in total opposition to this mood is wasting precious time.
Green spaces reduce energy consumption by countering the warming effects of paved surfaces. So there we have it. The same green spaces which are considered a waste of space by the proposition is reducing economic cost of businesses as electricity becomes cheaper.
Our 2014 winner of the inaugural CPC All Clarendon High School Debate Competition is Central High School. The competition's success was a complete community effort as sponsors came from within and afforded the top 3 well-needed and well-deserved prizes. Before I delve into our findings, let me just say that the Jamaica Information Service is pleased to be part of this magnanimous event. I'm following your footsteps, my brother. All those words, like auspicious moments. You know, we're all about celebrating our youth and promoting community development. And I'm sure the Jamaica Information Service shared in the moment by providing coverage and a chief judge.
It was amazing. The match was very informative. You saw both sides of the mood being clearly explained and clearly defined. You saw the true essence of debating, and you saw the true vigor of competition.
It was a very interesting competition. We had fun. We got to meet new people, saw new faces, and I must commend the Clarendon Parish Council for this initiative. It was well planned and well executed.
We definitely applaud Central High School for their efforts and their win. Good try to Clarendon College. They brought a good team forth, and you can definitely look out for Fogo Road next year. I won't be on the team because I'll be graduating, but my successors, they're very capable, and they will be making trouble in the competition.
I think we have infused the youth in local government and community development month in a very constructive way, a way that will keep reaping benefits for months and years to come. And I think that any program that is youth focused and youth oriented, we can't go wrong, whether it is a PR strategy or it's a legacy building strategy, because the youth are the chief communication influencers in the community, and they're uninhibited, they're inhibited, they're not afraid, and they will go out and they'll spread the word if the word is good.
So speak life to the deadest, darkest night. Speak life when the sun...
Violence against women and girls is too commonplace in our society. Too often our women and girls are beaten, raped, and verbally abused. Break the silence. Say no to violence. Let us unite to end violence against our women and girls.
That was a message from Senator the Honorable Sandria Faulkner, the Minister responsible for Gender Affairs, in support of the elimination of violence against women.
On Christmas Day, where will you be? At home with family? Maybe at church? How about work? Well, for many Jamaicans, duty calls and they have to answer. We're talking about essential service workers who hold down the fort at Christmas time. Ever wonder what it's like for them? This should give you an idea.
The joy of unwrapping presents, the fellowship of family dinners and get-togethers, the mellow vibes of lining with friends. Feel-good opportunities abound at Christmas. But while most people are off the clock enjoying the festivities, there are others on duty, providing essential services 24/7.
My name is Damon Lewis. I work with JUTC. Since 2001, I have worked every Christmas.
I am Nadine Rowe Fisher. I am a nurse manager at the Kingston Public Hospital. Coming out to work on a Christmas holiday, I have mixed feelings because naturally I want to be home with my family and my loved ones to share the festive season, but the reality is I have to go to work.
It is very important to have fire brigade persons working during the holidays because as they would always say, it's a silly season and crazy unexpected things happen.
Essential service workers like these civil servants are always on call, whether it's a regular workday or the most wonderful time of the year. By necessity, they are required to ensure that crucial services are always available for the people of this country.
So we're working on a Christmas holiday. It gives me joy to interact with passengers. It's Christmas and people want to go around with their families or friends to enjoy themselves. Not to say that we don't want to go and enjoy ourselves, but we are providing a service. So it's an important part of our jobs to go out there and deliver what we are supposed to do.
If I'm rostered to work on that day, then we tend to want to enjoy ourselves prior to that day or post December 25th. So just to ensure that we enjoy what is left of the holiday or what is to come of the holiday.
If I have to come to work on a holiday, I kind of tell myself not to plan anything in detail that I'm going to go anywhere that will be occurring at the time when I should be on duty. So it makes it a little bit easier for me.
At the workplace, holidays like Christmas can be hectic for some public servants. Take the police and nurses, for example. Statistics show a spike in road crashes during the festive season, and for nurses, that often means more road crash victims to treat.
You may come, nothing happens, thumbs up for that, but if somebody should really have a problem, you will start to know that they came to the facility and it is closed because everybody went off to have holiday.
These hard-working men and women often have to deal with difficult situations at a time when most people are off enjoying themselves.
There was this child who he went along with his friends to the beach. His parents weren't informed of where he was going. And apparently, according to what was reported to us, he got into some difficulties in the water. And his little friends, they just panicked, they ran. And then they came back and they told an adult what had happened. We actually attempted visitation and it was just sad. He did not pull through.
Corporal Hamilton has a similar story, but with a pleasant outcome.
We were at the station one afternoon when we got a call that there was a house on fire. When we responded and we went to the scene, there was this dwelling house on fire and everybody was just scampering around. So when we checked to ascertain as to if everybody was accounted for, they were saying that no, there is a child, a small child, that has not been accounted for. And we immediately went into rescue mode. A couple of us went in and we searched the entire building and we found the child on the bed, just huddled up trying to escape the heat, and we grabbed him and we ran out of the building.
Moments like those help to strengthen their resolve, motivating them to keep watch, to provide life-saving services to their fellow men.
I enjoy my job, so I come to work each day and I look for ways and means so I can help to enhance somebody else's life, and I've been doing that for the past 15 years with no regrets.
Corporal Hamilton enjoys doing his job. I am one that strives to do my job to the best of my ability. I've always given 100% to what I do.
I love to know that I transport somebody from here to there and they greet me well, I greet them back, I deal with them the way they're supposed to be dealt with.
Despite this love and dedication, working at Christmas can be hard for these committed civil servants. Still, they rise to the occasion.
To cope and to really survive in this type of environment where there's so many traumas and sad cases, you have to be able to sometimes just put yourself aside and you deal with the situation. Sometimes when you're finished, you have to get a debriefing and you really talk about what really happened.
As firefighters, we can't be too soft in carrying out our duties because then that would bring our emotional side in too much, which would render us, not doing our duties as effectively as we'd want to. So we have to, grieve with whosoever is suffering that loss and move on.
This Christmas, as you gather with your family to devour a delicious holiday feast, Give a thought to the men and women who are manning police stations, treating patients in hospital, responding to fire calls, and safely transporting passengers to their destinations. Civil servants on duty at Christmas.
When using an automated banking machine ABM, ensure the machine is in a location you are comfortable with, and when you enter, be sure to close the door. Examine the machine before you insert your debit card, and never enter your card if the machine has a suspicious device attached to it. More important, don't allow strangers to assist you in conducting a transaction. And remember, treat your debit card like cash. Keep it in a safe place.
Show love in Christmas to somebody, give them little something, go to them home, show them how much you appreciate them. That is what Christmas is all about, love, and give what you can give.
I think we're not very kind, we're not very hospitable to our peers or to others out there, so I think instead of just shopping for ourselves, that we can maybe, for buying 3 rolls of tissue, we can give away 1 roll, or whatever we buy, we give to somebody, we give some to somebody else.
They could give what they have at home, or they could invite someone over to their house and share something with them.
By being with family and friends, and well, it's not really about gifts, just loving everybody. Even though it should be an everyday thing, but at Christmas time it should be more prominent.
Well, you have to look out for the needy, as simple as that. And those who are homeless, those are the people who we should try to attend to, not only on Christmas but throughout the years.
Giving and sharing, do the kids them good, give them toys and all these things.
Christmas is all about coming together and sharing things. You don't have to buy expensive gifts, and so you can just come together as one big family and celebrate Christmas. Buy anything you can afford, don't put your hat where it can't reach.
The Ebola virus is transmitted through direct contact with an infected person's blood or other bodily fluids like saliva, urine, stool, and semen. Symptoms of Ebola include sudden fever, intense weakness, muscle pain, headache, and sore throat. This may be followed by vomiting, diarrhea, and rash, and in some cases both internal and external bleeding, leading to death. Protect yourself. Avoid travel to Ebola-affected countries. Avoid contact with infected persons. Don't touch the body of someone who has died from Ebola. Wash hands frequently with soap and water, and use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. To know more, call 1-888-663-5683.
Christmas is here again, and there are so many things you may want to do this Christmas. For parents, you know how the children can be. They are anticipating gifts and making all kinds of demands. But how can you meet those expectations when money is tight? Well, you may want to consider this.
Why not engage the children? Talk to them about your financial situation. Let them know how much you have to spend and spell out the necessary things that you must buy. Let them help you design a budget and stick to it.
Talk to them about the possibility of postponing gift giving until a later date when you can afford it. Or choose to buy a gift the whole family will enjoy. Don't assume they won't understand. Talk to them. You will be surprised how understanding they can be.
If you're a lover of Christmas carols like moi, you'll enjoy this next excerpt. Here's the Edna Manley College Choir singing Jesus is Born on This Day.
Today the glory of God shines everywhere for everyone. Oh, Jesus, born on this day. Today our hearts rejoice in Him. Today the glory of God shines everywhere for everyone. Oh, Jesus, born on this day. Today our hearts rejoice in Him. Our hearts rejoice in Him. Today the light of His birth fills us with hope and brings peace on earth. Oh, Jesus, born on this day.
That's how we bring the curtains down on our show for today. But if you want to see it again, log on to our website at jis.gov.jm. We always welcome your feedback, so keep sending your comments to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. We'll be back with another show tomorrow, same time, same station. On behalf of the production crew, I'm Carrie Ann Smith, reminding you to walk, ride, and drive safely on the roads.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.